What's going on, guys? It's Obua Gaming here, and today I'm gonna bring you a bone meal farm using simple cactus. Alright, well, if y'all are ready, let's get started. Alright, so what you're gonna do first is you're gonna lay down rails, minecart rails 20 blocks wide. You want it 20 blocks because that's the maximum width for this machine, and then turn around and go back and just zigzag up and down so that it's all one rail, 20 blocks wide, as long as you want. Maybe 50 blocks, maybe 100 blocks long, whatever. Alright, so once you got that all done, then you just have to add some powered rails. You really only have to have enough to keep it going, but you do want to put one on the far left side at the start. Once you have it there, I usually just put 2 on each line. Alright, so next up, once you have all the powered rails and the rails down, is you're going to come over and put sand above them, but you're going to do it in every other block. Reason being is eventually when we put cactus on here, cactus can't have another block touching it. So that means when you get to this next block, it will be the opposite ones. Because cactus can be diagonal from each other, just not right next to each other. So it'll end up a lot like a checkerboard. Alright, so the next thing you're going to do is take all these empty spots in between the sand and just start filling them with glass. The reason I use glass, you could use slabs as well, you could use many blocks, but glass is one of the blocks that mobs can't spawn on. So it'll make it so mobs can't spawn on this farm once the cactus is on all the sands. Alright, so now that you've got all the glass down, you've got your main building area for the farm where everything's going to happen. You come off to the side and you surround the whole thing in a layer of glass 2 blocks above this building surface. Now in this video I build out 1 and then I go up 1. I'd suggest going out 2 and then up instead of this spot directly next to the sand. Reason being, if you build out 2 spots, then you don't have, or then you're able to put cactus on the very edge. It makes all the difference. You get 10% more cactus and it makes the farm that much more efficient. Either way, whichever way you decide to do it, it will work. But just make sure that right now we've got it up 1 spot, that you build it up at least 2 spots. Alright. Here's a quick video of the side walls if you decide to come out 2 blocks instead. They'll look a little something like this. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the end that's powered and put 2 blocks here. I use iron blocks just because I like to build with them. But by having those 2 blocks there, when the rail hits it, it will stop, turn around, and shoot back off on the powered rail in the opposite direction. Then whatever side you want your collection system at, the opposite direction, or the opposite corner, you're going to come down here and let's get it built. Alright, so what you're going to need for this collection system is a hopper, a repeater, a torch, a comparator, and 3 building blocks. You'll take your hopper and you're actually going to point it towards wherever you want your chest. I'm pointing it to the left right there, straight ahead. And then dig out a few blocks next to the hopper, or if you're above ground, you're good. What you're going to do is go 1 block over and up from the hopper, 2 blocks over, and then 1 over and up from that. So it looks a little something like this. Then you put a torch on the wall of this bottom block. I apologize. You put a comparator on the ground next to the hopper, facing away. You put a torch on the back side of that bottom block, and then you put a repeater up top. Now when you put a powered rail on top of this, just like that, it's powered. What's going to happen is a cart is going to roll up, and if it has anything to unload, it will automatically turn off power until the system is fully unloaded. Once it's unloaded, the power will turn back onto the rail and the cart will shoot off on its own. It's a self-unloading system. Alright, give me a second, let me dig out a hole here and we'll finish the collection system. Okay, I've got a little room dug out here where we're going to have our collection. I'm going to place down collection chest with a hopper stabbing into the back of it. Above the hopper is going to be a composter, like so, and then a hopper into the composter, and then just connect that hopper system to your hopper from your minecart system. Now anything that's dropped in will go through the composter, any cactus, and will turn into bone meal, be deposited into your chest. Easy as that. Alright, we have a few more steps, and then this guy's done. Let's get going. Alright, so what you're going to do here is you're actually going to chop out the middle 4 squares of the wall on each side, and then you're going to come behind it and build out 2 blocks. What we're doing here basically is we are just adding a pocket where we can have the return system where the machine will bounce off of and come back. So make sure you build up a wall right there. And then in the center two, you're actually going to build up one more spot. Let me grab my glass. There you go. And then you're going to place an obsidian right there, and on your right side, on the right side of it. And then you need to place an observer facing out towards the center. The way that you do this is you actually grab a block, like a slime block, and you build out 2 spots, break the middle one, and then you could place observer against it, just like that. Then you're going to want to go ahead and hop up top real quick, and place down a redstone dust on top of the obsidian. Alright, and grab a repeater, and then place a repeater on top of the observer. Hop down, there's one more step, take a iron trap door and place it against there, and a lever on the side. So when it's off, it's up, when it's down, it's on. Easy as that. One thing I didn't mention is that repeater up top does have to be at either 2 or 4 ticks. I just do 4, just open up the repeater all the way. If it's at 1 or 3, it will not work. And then just repeat the same process on the other side. Okay, so here's the second one done. One thing to point out is that they do not line up with each other. If you're looking at them, they are on the right center block or the left center block. As long as they don't line up with each other, that's fine. They're 1 block off from each other. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to build up a few blocks because we're going to work on our flying machine. So what I typically do is I will build up 4 blocks, like so, take out the 3rd one, and then place an observer so that it's facing straight up. As you can see here, it's facing up towards the sky. That is important. If it's facing any other direction, it won't work. Then I build over so it's diagonal, and I place another observer facing straight up. One thing to note is that the first observer, the one closest to that end, does need to line up with the observer that's on the end, whereas this one is closer to the other end and it lines up with it. Once you've got your 2 observers there, then it's time to work on a little bit of pistons and slime. So you want to put your pistons down. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it doesn't go there. You're going to place a block so that the pistons are facing in towards the other observer, but they are actually not directly underneath the observer, if that makes sense. Kind of like this, so the piston is there, and then another sticky piston in the diagonal position next to it. So place that, put a sticky piston, and then from there you just go 10 blocks out with slime blocks. So if you built your glass right away, you do need to have one thing right here. As you can see, I have obsidian on the second line. That's because the slime will be touching it. You want to have some type of immovable block. You can use honey there, you can use glazed terracotta, any of that. But you have to have something so that when the slime touches it, it will not mess up. Another thing that you need to do is one of these sections, one of the sides, where the slime is going to touch when it gets all the way down, you need to replace with an immovable block on each side. Again, I chose obsidian, but you can use something else. Make sure you do that on the other side as well. Way down here. And it will be on the opposite side because of how the machine is, how it's built. There you go. Alright, so next up, you're going to go ahead and place down all your cactuses. See, if you put the glass right at the edge without building that extra block, you actually can't build all the way to the side, making your farm only 18 wide instead of 20. Like I was saying, if you add that extra glass block, it does add about an extra 10%. Still, either way, it will work, no problem. It'll still get you a lot of bone meal. It's really up to you. Alright, at this point your machine's officially ready to go. You've got all your cactus planted. All you have to do is go over here, make sure the trapdoor is down by turning that one on, and then make sure that this one is also on, and then you can place any block directly above the one of the observers in your flying machine, and it will get started. Let's see, take a dirt, there we go, and it's off. When it hits the end, it will automatically stop at it and then bounce back and come back this way. Just bounce back and forth, chopping down any cactus that's at level 2. Hey you guys, I just want to take this moment to talk to you about this farm. I think it's a really cool way to implement a flying machine into an AFK farm. Generates a lot of bone meal. I think it's pretty original. If you like it, hit that like, hit that sub, ring the bell, help me out. Until next time, Zobua out.